So I'm Chris Piercy with Horner Express Backyard Expo Division, and our division specializes in everything that's not a swimming pool. So all the fun things that go along with a swimming pool, like outdoor kitchens and fire features and patio shade structures and other fun stuff like that. So I've got a lot of pictures and slides to show you. Hopefully you'll get something out of it. And at the end, we'll open it up for some questions and answers. And that's how we're going to do things. So let me start my timer, because I know that you don't want me to ramble on for too long. So let me share my screen here. Uh-oh, it says host disabled the participant from sharing the screen. What up, Lewis?
I'll fix that right now. Okay.
Okay. Oh. Making some progress. So hopefully you can see my screen, I think. Come on, I'm having a hard time with it. Do that. Okay. So I'm assuming that if you're a pool builder especially, or renovator, or even service technician, you might be seeing leads slow down in 2023 versus what we were accustomed to for the 2 years prior. As a matter of fact, in the first quarter, pool new building permits were down by about 20%, and even more towards the end of the second quarter. And I think everyone is probably expecting there to be less new pools built this year than we've seen in the past. So how are we going to keep our companies in business and keep money flowing in our pockets and keep putting food on the table? I'm being a little dramatic, but we're going to do whatever we can to make sure we close the sale, first of all. And then we're going to try to sell bigger projects to capitalize on those leads. And how are we going to sell bigger projects? Well, we're going to think about what else can we sell them besides the pool. So what we're going to talk about this evening is some fire features, some outdoor kitchens, some patio shade structures, and even some artificial turf and some cool new decking products. But first of all, we have to get rid of your own head trash. A lot of times we get kind of in a mindset where we don't look outside of what we normally do. And we're saying that because we have less new leads coming in and potentially less income coming in, we need to expand our horizons and do more than we used to do, and to figure out how to make more profit on every job. I'm sure that sounds good to everybody. So the first thing we're going to talk about are some pretty easy add-ons, but they're very profitable. And these are some form of fire features. So this is the probably easiest add-on that you could ever do. This is a paver company's wall block fire pit kit. Whether you're currently buying your pavers from Trimron or Bellegarde, Old Castle, US Paverscapes, Flagstone, whatever, Tricircle, all of these vendors have some sort of paver block fire pit kit. Typically, those are wood burning fire structures, and the entry level or the cost to the dealer for a fire pit kit like this, you know, somewhere between $500 and $700, so pretty inexpensive price point. But you can certainly add $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 to the overall project just by offering a cool fire feature. And you can make even more money if you turn that wood burning fireplace into a clean, non-stinky, non-smelling, non-smoky gas burning fire pit. This is one of the vendors that we partner with called the Outdoor Plus. We have others as well, and they all have some sort of kit that will convert a standard wood burning fire pit into a hot new gas burning fire pit. So if you see this particular picture here over on the top left, there's another one on the bottom right, but the kit will consist of this stainless steel disc or plate that sits down inside the fire pit. You notice that it also includes these brackets. So the brackets go between the second and third course in this particular example. kind of creating an L or a bracket for this plate to sit on. And then the media would be sitting on top of this plate, and the burner is in the center, so the fire comes up through the top. They also provide air vents, which are very important in any combustion process. So you would remove one of these paver blocks and insert one of these vent kits. They also provide this little faceplate here, which contains your key valve, which is the gas control for controlling the on and off of the flame, and also the flame height. They also, if you don't like the style of this look, do some ready to finish enclosures. So ready to finish means that it's sent from the factory with the hardy board, with a frame and the hardy board exterior on it, and then you finish it on the job site with whatever finishing materials the project calls for. So in this example, it's a stone veneer with a poured concrete countertop, or I guess that's top. You can see that they are designed to be compatible with either natural gas or liquid propane. They're going to include venting, which is very important. And they have either leg levelers, or they provide shims to be able to shim it up to overcome any of the deck slope that might be out there. This is a little slide that I just kind of wanted to point something out. This particular vendor offers multiple sizes and shapes. These are examples of square ones. But what I was really trying to illustrate is that if you're doing if you want to be able to house a LP propane, portable propane tank, you have to get a tall enough fire pit to be able to house the tank. So if you look at this one, which is only 16 inches tall, you'll see there's no door here because there's no way to get a propane tank underneath there, because the tank would be taller than the top of the fire feature. This one is 24 inches tall, which leaves enough room to be able to slide in your LP tank. Very important to have proper venting, so forth and so forth, so forth and so on, I'm sorry. So if you didn't want a ready to finish project, then you can choose one that's already ready to be used. So they have fire pits, fire tables, and fire bowls. And they're available in metal, such as stainless steel, powder coat, hammered copper, and even Corten steel. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Corten steel in a moment, but they're all ready to go. As I said, when you order these, we want to know what fuel type is on site, because if we have natural gas on site, we want to order it as a natural gas burner versus a liquid propane burner. There are also lots of add-ons that you can do to this, like adding electronic ignition, adding flame sensors, adding ornaments, adding the media. Even there's some Bluetooth systems available for remote operation. These are some really cool fire features. The one down here on the bottom is made out of concrete. You can see this one has a LP door. We have a whole line of these fire pits that we call LP friendly, meaning that there is some way to house an LP tank here, so there's no really gas connection required. Relatively inexpensive dealer cost, and you can certainly add a lot of value to your project by adding a pretty simple fire feature to it. Some of the materials that can be used to make a fire pit are, as I said, stainless steel, copper, and Corten steel. They're very lightweight, ready to go, super easy. I wanted to mention about Corten steel. This is kind of a popular trend, but for the right application. And what I mean by that is this unit, the metal on this, is designed to rust. Rust actually makes it stronger. And that is fine if you're in an application like this where it's sitting on gravel or something. If you're setting this fire feature on a beautiful white marble deck, your homeowner might not be real happy because they're going to get some staining on the deck. So just a word of caution, they are designed to rust. This is how it looks when it leaves the factory, and this is how it looks after a year of use. But that's part of the cool factor. If you think it's cool, it's cool. If you think it's stupid, then it's stupid. I'll let you make the call on that one. This is a real popular metal that's used. It's copper. Copper doesn't stain, it doesn't rust. However, it definitely oxidizes. If you've ever seen the Statue of Liberty, it has a little bit of a green tinge to it. Well, the copper water features can definitely get that same green tinge to them. Again, part of the natural oxidation process, something you definitely should caution your homeowner on, because it is just the nature of the beast. This is probably the more popular building material, which is glass fiber reinforced concrete. So instead of being fully formed of concrete and very heavy, it's quite a bit lighter weight because it's not full concrete. There's actually fiberglass fibers in the concrete mix. So the fiberglass fibers add strength to the product, keeps it from cracking. It adds some heat resistance. So therefore, it would be a lot lighter than if it was a fully poured concrete feature. If it is a concrete bowl, they are color fast. The color is actually in the mix. The outside is polished, so it looks a little different. If you scratched it, you would see a little bit of a variation, but it certainly would be able to be polished off and look just like it does here. Another relatively inexpensive upgrade to a pool, as far as the cost of the actual product, is adding a scupper to your pool design. Scuppers are relatively inexpensive. I mean, obviously there's going to be some extra plumbing involved, but you know, for $250-ish, you can add scupper to the wall, and you certainly can charge a whole heck of a lot more than $250. Doesn't that look beautiful? Oh yeah, everyone loves it. Scuppers are available in stainless steel, copper, and powder coated. So all the fire features, back to fire features, of course, have a burner. Now, these are some custom burners. You can see this one is the shape of a maple leaf, I think. So this particular project either was done in Canada or done by somebody who's really into maple leaves. I'm not really sure. But this particular vendor that we work with has a real good custom program, and they can do all kinds of cool, crazy fire shapes. We've done a couple for like NFL players, and we've made the burner like their jersey number. That's kind of cool. Here's some examples of some custom shapes. Here's a big L-shaped burner system. Here's a weird triangular thingy jigger. I don't know what shape that is exactly, but here's a really awesome vanishing edge or negative edge water feature with a fire feature in the center of it. Pretty cool. Want to just touch on the difference between burners. So over here on the left is an example of a standard round burner. Some manufacturers, less expensive quality, will import this product from other countries like China. A lot of the less expensive import style burners are actually made out of chrome. Chrome does not have great heat resistance, so the longevity is not very much. All the vendors that we partner with actually are manufactured in the US of A, and they use 304 or 316 grade stainless steel. Some even use brass as the material. But I really wanted to point out the difference between a standard style burner and what they call a bullet or a pro burner, depends on which vendor you're purchasing it from. But the difference is these little bullets or nozzles, see they're kind of shaped like a bullet. So the idea here is that the gas is compressed, putting it in more pressure, so you get a higher flame performance and actually are consuming less fuel. So for very minimal amount of extra money, you can turn a flame that looks like a birthday cake into something that really looks pretty cool and dynamic. All because of the little bullets or pro tips. Something else I'll point out, a difference between a less expensive and a nicer quality burner is, you notice how the center of this burner is actually raised and then it's going downhill. So the idea behind this is if water gets into these little ports, when it rains, it will. If this area is lower than the outside, then all that water is going to pool in this area and it can actually feed back into your gas line. That's not great because you'll get a lot of corrosion on the inside. So your better quality burners will have a dam, they call it, which means it's the center area is raised. So it has a means for the water to escape. And in all these burners on the other side of the burner or at the end of the burner, there's a little weep hole. So any water that does happen to enter the burner itself, once the flame comes on, it heats up this water, creates steam, and the steam gets exhausted out the two little, or out the weep holes. So it makes the longevity quite a bit longer. There are also some other really cool fire features like tiki torches, and these are some fire towers. So let me show you those. Ooh, love it. I think that's cool. Got to get one of those in my backyard. So there's 20 different torches that this particular vendor offers. And they also offer these really cool Game of Thrones-ish style fire features. I'm not sure it's the right product for every application, but somebody's going to think that's cool. This is a tornado flame, so it's actually spinning around. Pretty cool. This they call the bird's nest. I don't know where they got the name, but you can see what's going on there. So real cool, creative, modernistic, pretty neat looking stuff. In addition to the fire pits and the bowls and the cool fire features, we also can do some self-contained water fountains. So this can be self-contained, meaning it's unassociated with the pool, or it can be tied into your swimming pool plumbing. Let me show you an example. This is one that is self-contained. So this is a water holding vessel that has a recirculation pump in it. So the water is going to be flowing. And this is the before picture, and here's the after picture. So obviously this was a commercial application, but you could certainly do that in someone's backyard. Love it. I want to talk a little bit about the ignition systems because the question comes up frequently. So this is what we call a flame sense ignition system. So the original way that a gas burner was lit for a fire feature was you would have a butane lighter, you would hold the butane lighter close to the burner, then you would turn the key valve to let gas flow to the burner, and you'd have flame, which is fine, certainly reliable. Unfortunately, if it rains or there's a lot of wind and the flame goes out, the gas doesn't shut off. So you still have gas escaping through this burner. So that is no longer UL certified. If you want to get a product that is safer and UL certified, then you have to get something with a flame sense ignition system. So flame sense means exactly what it says. It actually senses if there's a flame. If there's a flame, everybody's happy. If the flame goes out, then the system knows the flame went out and it shuts the gas flow off. So this is the standard flame sense system. And this is a little bit of an upgrade. This is a flame sense with a spark ignition system. So now instead of holding my butane lighter beside the burner and turning the gas on, now I'm going to turn the gas on and then I'm going to hit this button over here, this guy, and it's going to send a little spark to the burner, and the spark is going to catch on fire from the gas, and we're going to have a cool fire feature. So it's basically a safety system designed to shut the gas flow off if the flame goes out. And then we have the most expensive type of ignition system, which is an electronic ignition system. And this is replacing the little battery pack with a more reliable 110 transformer. So this is the transformer, and there are two different styles available. Number one is if you're within 5 feet of water, you have to step the power down to a 12-volt low voltage system. So this would be, all the water bowls would include this. Some of the fire features, you have the option of either getting the low voltage, or you can just have a regular 110 outlet, and that's what powers the igniter. Here's a little close-up. So the big difference here is this, as I said, this transformer. This transformer can be operated via your pool automation system or home automation system, or even a Bluetooth controller. So you have some flexibility there. I will tell you that the most reliable is your good old flame sense because you're relying on a butane lighter to light it. This is the more popular option though, the electronic ignition system. These are very reliable, but and I'll tell you the way that it works. When you tell the pool automation system to turn on, it sends power to the transformer. The transformer sends power to this little gas valve, and there's a little glow plug in here, kind of like in a diesel automobile or truck. That gets warm. When that gets warm, then it lights. So they have a little pilot in here. And then once the pilot is lit, then it will actually send gas to the burner, which is not pictured here, but you can imagine it. And then the pilot light is what actually lights the burner. This has the safety feature. If the flame goes out, it will shut the gas flow off. It will try to reignite itself 3 times. And if it doesn't, it shuts down totally. And to repower it or reboot it, you turn power off and turn power back on and be back in business. I also tell you that adding the true electronic ignition system will add about $1,200 to the price of the fire feature. But if the people want to buy it, you should want to sell it. Little tips, best practices as far as the correct way to install a fire feature, whether it's a bowl, a fire pit, or whatever it is you're doing, a custom burner, is first of all, you don't want to fill the entire vessel with media. Media can be glass or fire or a lava or other things, but you want to have a air space underneath the burner. That's number one. So, and number one says don't use media that's not fire rated. I get a lot of people say to me, well, I'll just go to the Home Depot and buy lava rock from the garden center and put that in my fire feature. Don't do that. The lava rock that they sell at Home Depot is designed for landscaping. It's not dried. There's water content in it. Water heats up, creates steam. Steam explodes the media, and that's not a good situation. As I said before, we want to make sure that the vessel has open air in it. We also want to make sure that it's properly vented. This is another illustration of an actual bowl, so a little bit smaller vessel, but the same general scenario. So we're going to have our pan. The media is going to be sitting on top of the pan. This area is open. And notice this particular manufacturer includes this mounting / ventilation bracket. So the idea here is that this bracket is mounted to your deck. There's about a 1/2 inch gap between the bracket and the bowl, and that is where the air gets drawn into this enclosure. So it provides air to help with the combustion process. It also provides ventilation. If you ever had a situation where you had a gas leak in one of these fittings, you would not want this entire vessel to fill with gas. Then we add flame to that, and that's not a good situation. So it provides safety as well as venting for combustion, as well as when the water from the rain, which we never have in Florida, but in the off chance we had some, the water is going to fill up this bowl, right? Because there's nowhere else for it to go. So if there's no way for that water to get out, again, not a good situation. So this particular vendor provides a mounting bracket. We represent products from other vendors that have little feet that hold the bowl up a 1/4 inch from the deck, again, to allow proper drafting and circulation. Here's a good picture of a key valve. A key valve is a on-off valve for your gas flow. You turn the key to the right, you let gas flow, you turn the key to the left, and gas stops flowing, similar to your garden hose. Important that we know a little bit about liquid propane versus natural gas, just as a safety precaution. Liquid propane is heavier than air and will tend to settle or pool in the bottom of an enclosure. Natural gas is not as heavy as air. It's actually lighter than air, so it will escape your vessel. But super important, especially with liquid propane, to have the proper ventilation. We also have lots of support material available for you to use in your efforts to sell cool outdoor features. So here's a little flyer we put together on some of the liquid propane tank friendly fire pit options we have. You know, again, more stuff over here. We have lots more available than this. Just want to kind of give you an idea that says we have some support material available for your marketing and sales efforts. In addition to fire pits and bowls and features, we have several vendors that offer a complete outdoor fireplace. This particular one is manufactured by the Outdoor Plus. It's available in quart and steel, which I highly recommend you avoid, but some people like it. or powder coated steel or stainless steel or copper. This is another popular item that we sell quite a few of called the Clea Bay. And this is a fireplace insert. So this particular product is just what I'm bringing my cursor around. It's the actual fire feature part of it. You are going to either buy from us an enclosure or you can build it yourself. This particular one is available without lights or also with LED lighting. Here's some other examples of different finish methods with a stone veneer face. You can purchase this kit as a one-sided kit or a see-through kit. Glass windshields come with it. You know, there are some available things like a glass screen if you want to do that. All kinds of cool ways to upgrade. Here's another option, which is a wood-burning fireplace. This particular one is an example from US Paverscapes, but all the other paver manufacturers offer similar products. And if someone wants this look, it's real simple as far as the building and installation process. Well, let me take that back. It's real simple as far as the building process goes, because this is a kit that's pre-built. It actually comes in two pieces. So this is one piece, and this is one piece that's assembled at the paver manufacturer facility. And as you can imagine, it's quite heavy. So the actual installation can be a little challenging. You know, you have to have machine access to be able to get it where it's going to go, because you're not going to move it by hand. But if you do, then a forklift will bring it, set it in place, and you know, an hour later, it's ready to be used. There are also glass burning log sets that are available for these as well. If someone doesn't want to burn the wood and they want to do a gas fire instead, we have that ability as well. Something else that you can add to the project is beautiful patio shade structures. So this product is by Renaissance. Renaissance is made in Florida for Florida by Florida people. It is an engineered and designed kit. So it comes with all the beams and the roof panels and everything that are already pre-cut, pre-designed, pre-engineered. There are 5 different models and they vary in price based on the complexity. This is called the Moderno. It's going to be the least expensive option that there is. It's a elite style roof. So there's a 3-inch foam panel inside in the middle of this aluminum sandwich. So the exterior is powder coated aluminum. The inside is a 3-inch foam panel. Of course, it doesn't let rain through. It keeps sunlight out. You can purchase these as a freestanding unit or as an attached unit. The one down here on the bottom right is called the Contempo. Contempo is a little fancier. Now we've added some little trim pieces on the ends. The trim pieces are available with a curved profile or a straight profile. The Contempo costs a little bit more than the Moderno because we have some more stuff added to it. And then we can spend even more money if we want to, and we can choose a Classico. So now the Classico has trusses that go the entire projection of the unit. So we not only have the trusses at the end, there's actually a truss that goes all the way through the side of it. We can add fan beams and fans to these structures. Again, they are either freestanding or attached to the house. A freestanding unit is going to cost slightly more than an attached unit because there's more structure required to have freestanding versus to have the house as one side of the unit. This one is called the Fresco. It's my favorite. I think it's the coolest one because it's unique. This has a clear polycarbonate roof panel. So the benefit here is we're going to keep out the rain. We're going to reduce the heat because we're blocking out some of the UV rays. They say about 30% cooler underneath than on the outside of the structure. But you get the benefit of having light coming through. All these units are available in one of 2 colors, just like, you know, the Model A. You can either get it in white or you can get it in traditional bronze. They also sell kits to add screen panels to it. And we also even sell kits that will actually make this a piece of glass so we can build a sunroom if we wanted to. And this is the least expensive option called the Aria. And it is what we call a shade trellis. These are aluminum tubes that are running the width of this unit. So there's gaps between each one of these tubes. So certainly going to let rain water through and heat, going to reduce how much sun's coming through. So it does provide shade, but it's not going to be a weather tight system. Obviously this one costs less because there's no solid roof panel. Here's some real world examples of patio shade structures in cooperation with a swimming pool. Here's that fresco that I liked a lot because I think it looks cool, sleek, modern, contemporary, all that stuff. Still lets light through so you can enjoy the daytime as well as the night. Here's an aria shade structure, which is the trellis style, just with the shade tubes. Here's the Classico model underneath here, and a fire feature in the background, and some patio furniture. Love it. The pricing on these is easy but complex. So let me explain that. We have this little sheet here, which we can provide you, which is a ballpark price. So for example, if we were looking at the Moderno attached to the house and the size is 10 feet by 10 feet, this is the price. But when we actually sell the project, we want to know the job site address. And the reason we want to know the job site address is because each one of these units is engineered based on wind load of a particular location. So if I'm in South Florida versus Central Florida, the wind loads are more in South Florida, closer to the ocean. So they're engineered a little differently. So they might cost a little bit different. So we have a ballpark guide. And then when we actually get ready to quote it out to a consumer, we're going to show you the real engineered drawings. As I said before, these are made in Florida. All the engineering drawings are done and available. So it's a pretty cool program. All the hardware is included. We can teach you how to install these yourself, where we have relationships with subcontractors around the state, where they'll give you a price per square foot to do the installation for you. Okay, let's go to the next cool, exciting thing. Wow. How about some artificial turf? I think it's cool. Who wants to mow the grass anymore? I'd rather just get my leaf blower out and be done with it. So artificial turf doesn't look like it used to look. It looks a lot more natural. We partnered with this particular company, which is called Parquet. They have 3 different styles available, just depending on what you're trying, look you're trying to achieve. You can kind of see the different profiles over here. One of the reasons we like this particular company is because they also offer all the installation material that might be needed. So it's kind of a one-stop shop. You get the benefits of artificial turf, I think. Very low maintenance is the biggest benefit. This is some information from the actual company. Over the past 2 years, their average order at cost has been about $5,600, and their dealer base is usually making 25 to 30% profit margin on that. That means that these projects are in the $9,000-ish price range. And so you're making around $4,000 just by selling somebody some artificial turf. More examples of what artificial turf looks like, in case you didn't know. Super realistic and natural. You get the general idea, I hope. Here's something that I think is pretty cool. Definitely going to do this on my patio. These are composite deck pieces. So these are different sizes you can see here, 12 by 36. And there's some 12 by 12s, there's some 24 by 24s. But the idea is that you might take an ugly concrete or cool deck patio, lanai type situation, and convert it into something beautiful, like this picture over here on the right. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. Installation super simple. You lay these things down. They have little interlocking tabs on the outsides here. So it's a male female kind of thing. So the female mates up to the male, and you have a cool, nice new look to your not so new looking patio, possibly. In addition to the floor panels, they also do vertical pieces. So this is a vertical siding piece that's actually being installed on someone's roof. So you take an old, ugly drywall ceiling, so maybe on your lanai, like that guy I'm sure has, and you add some cool composite material to the top of it. So now you have the look of wood, which is really cool, but you have no maintenance, which is even cooler. You can also use it on an outdoor kitchen application if you decided you wanted to do that. Some more examples. I'm not so crazy about this one. This one looks pretty cool. You can use your own judgment on that. Here's one that's done on a, looks like a condo or a deck maybe. The last thing I want to talk about is the exciting world of outdoor kitchens, the new necessity. The good news about outdoor kitchens is that people want them. Better news is that we make it really, really simple. What we offer is a factory-built custom kitchen. You can see there's a picture up here at the top left of the kitchens being run down the production line. Here's an example of one on a job site. This particular unit is an unfinished or ready to finish unit because this particular client was planning on adding stone veneer and a solid piece of granite. So this cabinet is sent from the factory ready to accept whatever finishes you want. Let me just show you this video. This shows you how quick and easy the installation process is. Roll the tape. So hopefully you can see that this was a two-piece cabinet, an L shape. Brought the first smaller piece in first. This is the larger piece. You'll notice that all the cutouts for the appliances are already done. So the two pieces of cabinetry get bolted together. In this particular example, they use a 24-inch by 24-inch flat travertine tile as the facing and a solid granite countertop. The whole installation process, as far as putting the cabinet and appliances in place, took 45 minutes because I was there. I know this. Of course, it took a little bit longer to do the finish work, but the whole process is pretty painless. We have subcontractors available to perform the installation services, or we're happy to teach you how to do it yourself. What else we got? Oh, we can show you that you can get these from the factory already complete and ready to use with a tile countertop on it, as in these examples, and an acrylic texture material already done. Or sometimes people like to upgrade that look and they want to do a stone veneer on the outside and a solid granite countertop. Since we talked a little bit about cabinetry, let's just briefly touch on the appliances. The brand that we promote and prefer is Somerset. These are some examples of the Somerset product. We like Somerset a lot. A lot of the Somerset products are made in the US, not all, but a lot. Great quality, great warranty, like a lifetime warranty on them. Really great customer support and service, really priced well. You can be competitive with anyone in the marketplace for the same quality. And then this next slide I have is, so what, who cares? If we have any pool builders on the line and you're honest, and I ask you this question, and it says, when you sell an $80,000 pool package, what's your profit? I ask this question a lot of times, and sometimes people act like they don't know, but the general consensus is somewhere between 8 and 10% by the time it's all said and done. So in an $80,000 pool, that's 8 grand. But what if something goes wrong? That 8 grand is less. How much time, aggravation, coordination, scheduling did it take to get your $8,000? How much money did you have to spend to subs and your suppliers before the project was completed? Not a great cash flow situation. And how long did it actually take you to get that $8,000? 6 months, 8 months? It takes a long time, right? Well, what if you sold a $15,000 outdoor kitchen? What is your profit? Well, if you sell it at the suggested pricing that we suggest you sell it at, and you'll be very competitive in the marketplace at these prices, you would make almost $5,000 on a $15,000 purchase versus $8,000 on an $80,000 purchase. And to even make it sweeter, someone else built it, someone else can install it, it doesn't leak and doesn't turn green, it's not going to cave in, rain doesn't delay it. Oh my God, it keeps on getting better and better. You could even pay for it probably after you've received the money from your homeowner and when the job was done. If you have an account with Corner Express, you get your profit in a couple of weeks. versus many, many months. Happy faces all around. How about this? Let's say the pool was valued at $65,000, but then you added that $15,000 outdoor kitchen. How much money are you going to put in the bank? Well, you get the same gross revenue, right? $80,000, but 10% on the $65,000 pool is, you can figure that out, right? 33% profit on the kitchen. So the grand total is $11,450. Does anyone remember what it was on the $80,000 pool? $8,000. So that's an additional $3,450 on every project. Wow, it's an eye opener. And we make it easy. Oh boy, there's my timer. We make it easy. So we put together these suggested retail prices. So these are the prices we suggest you sell this to the homeowner at. And if you do, you're going to be making about 35% profit margin. So this is a real popular example. I always choose it. It's the Key West. It's a 7-foot package with a grill, double doors, a refrigerator, selling to the homeowner for $7,500. And you're going to make about $2,000 when you do that. Wow, how awesome is that? Love it. Last but not least, as I said, we have lots of marketing support material. We have a website. It's backyardexpo.com. If you go to this section up here where it says dealer login, it will ask you for a password, and you can email me if you forget, but it's pretty simple. It's all caps, HX dealer $. Wonder why there's a $sign there. Huh, suggestive selling, because we want you to make more money. Anyway, you can log into this website, and then you can scroll down and get pricing, catalogs, brochures, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can also send your homeowner to backyardexpo.com and don't give them the dealer login, but they'll be able to peruse the website, and they'll be able to find catalogs and see pictures and get all kinds of other information to help support you in your efforts. And I think that is all I got.